Please stand clear of the doors. Por favor, manténganse alejado de las puertas.
Hello, and welcome back to Going Beyond the Castle. My name is Ashley Rude, and I am joined by not Lori Talamo. Lori had some family stuff to tend to this evening, so joining me tonight is the wonderful Katie. Katie, say hi.
Hello.
I'm sure you guys have heard me talk about Katie before. Her and I have been really good friends for, I don't even know how long we've been friends, like 10?
Over 10 years.
Yeah, we work together, but we've just grown really close lately. Yeah, she's going to be joining me tonight to talk about some table service dining topics. Before we get into things, if you have never heard this podcast before, welcome. Katie, your mom's here. Hi, Terry. We're so glad you're here. If you've never been to this podcast before, welcome. We are Going Beyond the Castle. She spelled your name wrong. Your travel podcast for cruising, Walt Disney World, Universal, anything relating to the travel industry. We are here to talk about it. If I am ever in charge of anything, we will be talking about Disney, though. Sorry, not sorry. You can find us on all the social media platforms out there at Going Beyond the Castle, Going Beyond the Castle podcast. We're on TikTok, Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, you name it. We're out there. Go find us. And we have a website, goingbeyondthecastle.com. We go live every Thursday. It's not Thursday. We go live usually every Thursday night at 7:30. This week, we just had some scheduling blunders that, now that I'm thinking about it, we probably just could have recorded on Thursday. But here we are on Wednesday at 7:30. So you'll hear this recording. If you're not watching it live, you will hear us in your ear holes on Tuesdays. Tuesday mornings, our episodes drop. Always keep an eye out on the Facebook page. Your mom is just still getting real upset at her spelling errors. Terry, it's okay. It's all right. Listen, my mom forgot how old I was a couple weeks ago, and she still hasn't lived that one down. So, but yeah, welcome. We hope you get to stay around and be like Terry. Terry's in the chat. We love when people interact with us and chat with us throughout the episode. It really helps keep things going throughout the day, or throughout the evening, I should say. So. That's that. As always, we like to cover a little bit of news. We got some news, got a recap, and also some exciting news for me and Katie this year. So, first and foremost, I was lucky enough to attend PopCon Indy this last weekend. Going Beyond the Castle was provided media credentials to do some coverage. We went on Friday for a little bit, hung out, got a feel, lay of the land. It was at the Is it the Indiana Convention Center or the Indianapolis Convention Center? It's Indiana Convention Center.
Indiana.
Gotcha. So yeah, I was at the convention center. They utilized pretty much all of the space. It was really cool to see how they did it. But yeah, we went Friday, got the lay of the land, and then Saturday I ended up going back. I went to 3 celebrity panels. I listened to D. Bradley Baker. He's the voice of most of the clone troopers in Clone Wars, and he also voices some other stuff from Family Guy or American Dad or something. He's also the voice of Perry the Platypus, so that was really cool to hear him do that. Yeah, someone asked him,
Does he talk?
when they... No, he made the little noise. Yeah. Someone asked him, do you just go in there and make that noise a bunch for them and they decide how they're going to use it? He's like, yeah, pretty much. And then they tell me if he's doing a scene where he has to be strong, this is the sound he would make. So that was pretty cool to hear. After and then towards the end of the D. Bradley Baker panel, have you heard of the First Legion? The people who dress up as Star Wars characters here in Indianapolis? So it's literally just that. There's a group of people, they dress up as, Darth Vader, stormtroopers, Jedis, whatever have you. There's an R2-D2 that rolls around with them too. Towards the end, all of them came in and got on stage and escorted D. Bradley Baker back to his table. So that was really cool. Super nerdy, but I enjoyed it thoroughly. After D. Bradley Baker was Allison Stoner. That one was really cool too. She's in Phineas and Ferb, talked a lot about her mental health journey, her journey as I think she's a clinician now or something. Are you familiar with her story?
A little bit, just because I grew up watching her because she was in Sweet Life of Zack and Cody. She did the voice of Isabella. She was in Camp Rock. Like, I could name a
Oh yeah.
bunch.
Yeah, that's how I am too.
So,
But she
but
had the
yeah,
whole like,
I've heard her mental health journey. I heard like bits and pieces of it.
yes, and she wrote a book about it too. Gabby's read the book. She said it was really good. And she was just talking about the book and like how she copes with, those stresses and anxieties in her day to day, having to be in a public eye more often and things like that. Didn't really talk about acting as much, and there wasn't as many people, so it was definitely like a smaller setting. I sat next to her. I don't want to say like her handler, maybe her agent. But at one point, I came in a little earlier, and there was a panel before hers. And so, like, when the panel was over, I just went and sat in the front, and they made us clear out and go back in. And Allison Stoner's agent or whatever just looks at me and goes, "I'm with Allison. I'm not doing that." And I go, "I wouldn't either." But yeah, it was super cool. Allison Stoner's really cool as well. It was a very, very cool panel. And then last and most certainly not least, I saw the one and only Patrick Warburton. He's such a cool guy. He literally,
he seems like he would be.
yeah, he literally walked on stage and his first words were, "Nice work, pal." Oh no. Okay, I thought you were losing me. Yeah, but like those are his first words, so I knew it was going to be a great panel. He did a lot of Kronk impressions too, which was really cool. And then he basically was like, "I'm a Disney adult too," and like being able to like be the voice on Soarin's really cool. Really excited about Soarin' Across America. And then he just goes, and there's a lot of like surprises in Soarin' Across America. So I don't know what that means, but I'm really excited.
I'll let you know this weekend.
Yeah, Katie gets to watch it this weekend. I am so excited. Gabby and I are going to write it when we go to in June. So yeah, we're excited about that. Other than that, didn't do much else. Walk the vendor the vendor hall. I'm sorry. Just saw kind of everything. Our friend Hannah was there cosplaying, so I hung out with Hannah a lot. And then I bought some art from this wonderful young lady. Her her company name is Bear Does Art. There's my bozo. She's so precious. This is her business card, and I highly recommend her art. It is really cool. I got a Hera sticker right here, Harrison Dula from Star Wars. It's really cool. I also have an Ahsoka sticker, but it's on my water bottle, and it's in my car, and I'm too lazy to go get it. So, just wanted to shout out that really cool business. She had a lot of Ahsoka, Hera, Clone Wars Rebels stuff. She also said she's a huge Disney Parks fan, and she had a Small World print, and it was really cool. And I was like, if you like branch out and do more Disney stuff, like definitely let me know. And so she said she would. So yeah, that was really cool. Super thrilled that we got the opportunity to go to PopCon. Hoping we get to get involved with those things moving forward as well. That is my PopCon review. I did 3 celebrity panels and they knocked my socks off. As far as Disney news, one really cool thing, it was all Bluey today. I wore my Bluey shirt just for it, just so everyone knows. Before we get to all the Bluey things, I am relieved to know that the animal care offerings are remaining at the conservation station.
Yes.
The vet clinic, I don't even remember what the names of all of them are, but basically everything involving like the vet clinic and animals that were seemingly inside the conservation station are staying. So that is really good news, because I was a little worried that those things would go away or go behind a wall.
So the petting zoo is still staying.
I think so.
Or
I think
they can't really move the vet part.
No. I'm going to double check the article now that you say that, because I thought I saw petting zoo, but I could be wrong. Give me just uno momento. I will say when they do open it up again, it will be a virtual queue. They don't know when it'll be standby, but it's definitely going to be virtual queue until further notice. My question is just the Bluey and Bingo meet and greet going to be a virtual queue, or is like getting on the train and going to the conservation station going to be a virtual queue? Because I can see a
I'd
case
assume
for
it's
both
just
sides
the
of
meet
it.
and greet. Assume just
I
the
would
meet and
too.
greet, because then if you're waiting for your turn, you can at least hang out in the area, see the clinic.
Well, they have
I
Bluey
know there's not
themed
a lot to
things
do
there,
there.
though. Yeah. Well, it said that there's going to be like a keepy uppy game and something else. So I'm wondering if it's going to get busy. I don't think the petting zoo is staying.
It's a lot of the goats that are at the end of the safari now, so they might just move them
Put them back.
there. Yeah.
Yeah, it just says the veterinary treatment room, the animal nutrition window, the amphibian, reptile, and invertebrate window, and the science center.
Okay, so everything that was inside of that building is staying. Gotcha.
Yeah. Yep. But yeah, so when it opens, it will be a virtual queue. I believe you can get into that queue at 7 a.m. and 10 a.m. or it's 11 a.m. It is where'd it go? 7 and 10. So if you don't get your 7 a.m. spot, just jump back on at 10 and you can probably get your spot there. I imagine that for like the first few days, it'll be chaos, but I don't feel like it'll be too crazy for too long.
Probably not, because I'm pretty sure they already started doing the rollouts of Bluey and Bingo on the cruise line. So,
Yeah,
and it's already at Disneyland, I believe.
the
I can't
show
remember all the
is.
details,
I can't either,
but
but yeah.
I wouldn't think so. I don't think it would really reflect crowd-wise there. I could be wrong.
Yeah, I think, like I said, I think for maybe the first 2 or 3 months, yeah, virtual queue will be understandable, but I could see them dropping it down to standby within the first 6 months. The last thing I had on Bluey was they announced food and beverages, and they actually don't sound bad. They announced the fairy bread cake, vanilla birthday cake dipped in white chocolate. You know I love white chocolate. Covered in rainbow sprinkles. It looks really good. Are you pulling it up right now?
Yeah.
The photo looks very plastic. Like the cake looks very plastic. So I'm really hoping that it doesn't look like that in real life and that it actually looks like food, because I plan on tearing that thing up. My mom said my brother has the Keepy Uppy game. I feel like we had it at one point too. Maybe we borrowed it from you or played it with. I think we just played it with Landon, but Keepy Uppy game is super cute.
I like the slushies though that Disney has, so that slushie looks really good.
Yeah. The Wackadoo Fruit Freeze, frozen twist on Bluey's beloved fruit salad. The fruit freeze is
That
made
one,
with
and
simply.
there's that one, and then there's a Bluey's berry lemonade.
I am not one to go for the healthy option, but the fruit salad on top of that Wackadoo freeze looks so good. I love pineapple.
Yes. I love fruit. I would
Yeah,
too.
I
Especially at Animal
foresee us.
Kingdom, it'd be refreshing.
And then last but most certainly not least, well, one of is Bluey's berry lemonade. It's literally just blue slushy and sprinkles, it looks like. I don't really have anything to say about that. I feel like they sell different versions of that all over the parks, but they have it and it probably tastes fine. And I texted Gabby about this before we recorded and said, do I need that Bluey sipper? Like, is that something that I need in my arsenal of random shit on my shelf? And Gabby was like, probably not.
It kind of reminds me of the sippers you can get from Rainforest Cafe.
Yes,
Kind
or
of.
the dinosaur ones that had the dinosaur heads on the top.
Yeah.
I think those are the Rainforest Cafe ones. My mom said Landon would die for that sippy cup. It is a really cool sipper, though. I'm not gonna lie. The limits
Might
too,
have
and
to
I
get
might.
it. We might have to get him one.
Yeah. Might have to get the baby boy one. I call him baby boy, and he is 8, 9. He'll be 9. And they have pretzels. I don't know. It's called pretzels because there's a Chihuahua named Pretzel on Bluey, and he or she has their own pretzels. So, and they're at Pizza Safari. So, they
No,
sound
that was at
excellent.
Isla Java.
But they said Pizza Safari somewhere. Okay.
The cakey looking thing is at Pizza Safari.
We are only here to spread misinformation. And that's that. The hype for Bluey is real, and I'm kind of on board right now. I'm hyped for Bluey. So we shall see how that goes. The only news I have is Mickey's Not So Scary Halloween Party tickets went on sale. Halloween night sold out within like the first day. Shocking, I know. And Katie and I and my wife Gabrielle are going to Mickey's Not So Scary Halloween Party!
Except it'll be very toasty.
Except it'll be in August and we will all be miserable, but it's going to be so great. Yeah, I'm excited. Gabby's never been to the Halloween party before, so I'm excited for her to experience that for her first time. I really hope she jumps on the Boo to You hype train with me, because, man, Boo to You is...
Yes.
Yeah,
It's
I
my
think she's going to
favorite
love it.
parade, besides Spot.
Oh, besides Festival of Fantasy, yeah. I was listening to Festival of Fantasy, Sensational, Paint the Night today. My rotation was parades. Anyways, that's the news for this week. If you need any other answers on anything Bluey, just message my mom. Apparently she knows all the Bluey things. Tonight's topic is the Audit, Walt Disney World Table Service. We will be going through providing a detailed report of how we feel about table service in the parks, at Disney Springs, and at the resorts. And maybe towards the end, we'll tell you how we really feel about certain restaurants. Opening it up, just kind of talking about, Disney dining in general. You have your 3 types of Disney dining, I suppose. There's signature dining, where they require you to not look like a dirtbag when you show up. There's character dining, self-explanatory. And then there's just your standard sit-down restaurants, which is probably 70% of all the table service restaurants out there. And the type of table service restaurant that you want to eat at is strictly based on vibes. If you are, the type of person that wants an all-inclusive experience, or, wants that signature dining experience, then there's something for you. Or if, you're a family of, then you just need to feed your kids and your family, maybe a family-style buffet is for you. So it literally just depends on what you're into. If you're a foodie, great. There's restaurants out there that are for more adventurous eaters. Pardon me. Or if you're a first-timer, you want to hit those popular restaurants that people think must be done. Chef Mickey's. On your first trip.
Yes.
And when you're thinking about those table service restaurants, it's really important to think about your plan. What are you doing for the day? What time are you doing it? And how can you fit that table service dining into your schedule? Table service dining takes your Disney trip to a whole new level, in my opinion, because you really have to take time out of your day to make it happen. You've got a day packed full of lightning lanes, but are you going to fit in this hour and a half dining experience with food that may or may not be to your liking? That's something that's completely up to you. We try and fit in 1 or 2 on a trip, because it can get pricey as well. Like this trip we're taking next month, we're just going to Homecoming and that's it. But we also have the quick service dining plan as well. So you just want to make sure, you're planning out where you're at, what time you're going to go, and kind of what flows best with your day. There's always the park strategy of eating during off, or riding the rides during the off times, or let me restart that whole phrase. you want to ride the rides during the most busy lunch and dinner times because everyone's going to be eating. They aren't going to be riding rides. But then that also puts you on a spot to eat at the most inopportune times as well. Because while you're eating, other people are riding your rides, and you don't want that. So that's just something that you want to keep in mind. Do you have anything to say on that? I feel like I'm just rambling.
No, you're good. Mostly the biggest thing I was going to say, table service dining in general is what you already said, and that is it depends on you. It depends on your family. It depends on what you want to do. Every family is different. You have, and you have different priorities, and it really just depends on your family, what you guys want to accomplish. It's a good way to avoid some of the lines, say for like character dining, for instance, if there
Good
are certain
call.
characters you want to meet. Um, Character
I didn't think
dining
about that.
with a specific restaurant that has that character might be your better option than, say, waiting in the park for them if they're, in the park, because the character meet and greets in the park can get long depending on who you want to see.
Yeah, what is your opinion on the length of time with the character meet and greets at your table service versus your standard meet and greet? Do you think that the characters take as much time and care during the table service? In my opinion, to be fully transparent, I don't think the characters, it's like a touch and go kind of thing at table service, whereas they take a little more time in your standard meet and greet.
Yeah, I mean, for the most for the most part, I think you do get more time in a normal meet and greet than you would at table service, but there are those
Mm-hmm.
occasions where, if a character bonds with a child at table service, there are those small exceptions of, you know, they can make a magical moment or, you know, spend a little bit more time there, or they could leave and come back if they wanted to.
Is there
Just
a,
depends.
and if you can't answer this, that's okay. Is there a certain amount of time the characters are like allowed to spend at a table, or is it just based on vibes?
I'm honestly not sure. I'm sure there is a time, like a recommended time or, a time frame. I don't know what it is.
Gotcha. Okay. Yeah, I just wondered because the more I got to thinking about it, it made more sense. I mean, you're right. If you don't want to waste a lightning lane or spend that time waiting in line when you could be waiting in line for like an actual quality attraction, then yeah, by all means, take the opportunity to do that character dining, but just recognize that it's just a touch point. Definitely. Let's talk about common mistakes people make when they're booking table service reservations. The first being booking an actual buffet. I'm just kidding. The first being booking for the incorrect number of people. Don't be that person. And I
Yes,
say that knowing that you and I have showed up with more people than we're supposed to.
well, okay, so that's not even where I was gonna go with this. I've seen it where people will show up and their reservation will say 2 adults, but they're carrying a child. And I'm like, so it's
That's fake.
3. And they're like, no, it's 2 adults. This is an infant. And I go, it's still a person.
How are you not going to count your child as a human being?
And like hearing that, I'm like, you're you have a child. They still count, even if you're not, you know, even
Yeah.
if they're a baby, they still count. They're a
Oh, because
body
they're thinking they
taking up
didn't
a
buy a park
seat.
ticket. Yeah.
Yeah. So like that is probably one of the bigger ones. Another one, to your point, going with more people than what your reservation is, depending
Kind of a
on what
dirtbag move.
restaurant. Yes, I mean it is, but there are those, last minute ones where, oh hey, like this actually did happen where this person just kind of we ran into each other. Are they able to join?
Yeah.
And that is up to the restaurant's discretion completely. So
Gotcha.
especially if it's one person, I don't think it's necessarily that big of a deal. If it's like a bunch of people, then probably not. Or they'll just give you an outrageous wait time to try to lure you away.
Shoo you along, yeah. Lori was saying that you can book for too many people and only a certain number. Like in the instance of like you book for 4, only 2 have to show up. So is it that half the party has to show up, or is it that, if you book for 6, still only 2 people have to show up?
I mean, if the amount of people that are coming are less than your reservation, I would assume most of the time that would actually help the restaurant in
True.
seating
Like
more people.
capacity.
So they would probably like that better, I would assume. But I mean, it's really, I don't think that's not as bad as like not booking enough people.
Right. Gotcha. Another one is there are restaurants that have multiple locations on property. For example, Rainforest Cafe has a location at Disney Springs and has a location at Animal Kingdom, and you have to pay attention to which one of those you are booking because
They're not
standing
close.
at Disney Springs at 6:50 for your 7 p.m. reservation is no bueno. Another common mistake people make: don't make a reservation for a park restaurant without a park ticket. They're not going to let you in.
Yeah.
Is that something that you've run into before? I guess you never worked like main gate, so it doesn't matter, but
Well, and the one I was at wasn't in a park, so
true. Yeah, very true.
we'd get people we'd get people who were staying there, and they'd be like, "Well, we're staying here. Can't we just, do a walk in?" And I'm like, "Sorry,
Does that restaurant typically have slim pickings?
no,
No. So why couldn't
no."
they just show up then? Did you make them make a reservation?
Well, you mean slim pickings, like very little reservations,
Yeah.
like less? Yeah,
Oh,
9
okay.
times out of 10 we would be fully booked.
Gotcha. Okay. I'm not going to give away exactly where you worked unless you want to do that, but as an overarching, common point for people, Katie worked at a table service restaurant at a resort, at a character dining table service restaurant at a resort. So she's not just talking out of her ass. She does know what she's talking about. But like I said, I'm not going to tell you guys exactly where she worked. Let's talk about dining inside the parks, strengths and weaknesses of each park, and how we feel about them. Which park do you want to start with?
Let's start with Magic, and we can end
And
with
work
Animal Kingdom.
Magic Kingdom, strength. They do have variety.
Yes.
They have Be Our Guests. They have Crystal Palace, which is a little more swanky. They have
Skipper's Canteen?
Yeah, I meant to say Be Our Guest and Cinderella's Royal Table, not Crystal Palace. Cinderella's Royal Table and Be Our Guest are swanky. Skipper's Canteen is very adventurous. Be Our Guest is a buffet. Tony's Town Square, Italian. I've never eaten at the Plaza. Have you eaten at the Plaza before?
I think Mom and I had lunch there. We did something.
I don't know what type of food is there. I am a terrible person. Is it just
it's it's American food.
Gotcha. Okay.
Yeah.
So yeah, I mean, there is definitely variety in the table service options, but in my opinion, it's not worth the price. Be Our Guest, while it is really cool, it is very expensive. And you may or may not get a glimpse of the beast from 10 feet away. And I
Only
think
for dinner.
Yeah, and I think that's the only real pull in it all, isn't it? Why do people want to eat at Be Our Guests? It's not new anymore.
No, I think it's similar to Cinderella's Royal Table, where they get to eat inside of a castle. Because honestly, that part of Be Our Guest, I love. Like, they did a fantastic job with each of the rooms. Like, you can eat in the West Wing, and you see the picture of the Beast,
The Beast.
following Adam, and like you have the
Isn't
main
there like
dining room where they do the dance, and then
yeah,
the last room is where Beast gave Belle a
the rose, right?
no
The music box.
music box. Music box, yes.
Yeah, I
And
think the
there's a
theming is
hidden
spot on there.
mini in the there's a hidden mini in the dining room, the dancing dining room.
Is it in the
So
snow?
it's in the ceiling.
So not in the snow. All right. I'll give you that. But yeah, I think everyone hates on Tony's Town Square, and I don't think it's that bad. I love Italian food. I always get shrimp Alfredo. It's always so good.
We used to go to Tony's all the time, and then we discovered Mama Melrose, R.I.P.
Ugh.
And so we traded Tony's for Mama Melrose. So we might have to start going back to Tony's again.
Yeah, you got to. Yeah, so if you have differing opinions on Magic Kingdom, I would love to hear them. Moving on to Hollywood Studios. Hollywood Studios has a great strength in that their food is I guess you could say once again, they provide a lot of variety. It's more family friendly, I would say. Most of the food there is your standard theme park fare, but served with a little bit of flair. You've got Sci-Fi Dine-In that serves burgers, fries, standard foods. You've got these Prime Time that basically serves you a real home cooked meal for dinner. You've got Hollywood and Vine. It's kind of a buffet that has your standard buffet fare. Woody's Roundup Rodeo Barbecue is the only thing that really sets it aside, and Hollywood Brown Derby. Roundup Rodeo Barbecue's got a little bit more theming in there as well. So yeah, that's where it excels, is that it's very family friendly. But the downside to that is that there's nothing really great food wise at Hollywood Studios when it comes to table service dining. I think you could pick up Hollywood Brown Derby and put it in another bracket there, because I think that like, obviously that's the go-to for anyone who wants good food.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, there's just not really any restaurants that are really just talked about because they have good food at Hollywood Studios.
The Brown Derby is the one that people talk about because everyone's like, you have to try the Cobb salad. And I'm like, when I
Yeah.
first heard that, I was like, I'm not a huge fan. I love the Cobb salad there. It's amazing.
You do?
Yes.
Doesn't it have like certain accolades too?
Oh,
I thought it did. I'm
I
looking it up. No. It doesn't. I thought it had some type of like accolade, but it doesn't.
no.
But yeah, that's the strengths and weaknesses of Hollywood Studios. We've got Epcot. I don't really think there's a weakness at Epcot. I think there's variety. I think there's great theming. I think there's great food. You've got a table service restaurant in, I think, not in America, but almost every country.
Yeah.
Regal Eagle isn't table service.
No.
But you've even got some character dining tossed in there as well. So yeah, I don't think there's any downside to table service at Epcot. Katie and I ate at Garden Grill back in January.
No,
She was
you
quick
have
to jump on the hate train for Garden Grill, but said breakfast is a redeeming quality there.
a breakfast girly. So 9 times out of 10, if you want to do breakfast at anywhere on property, I will say yes.
Yeah. What were you going to
Dinner,
say before that? Sorry.
that's where I'm hesitant.
What were you going to say before that? I kind of cut you off there.
I don't remember.
Great.
I was just gonna say that like you have so much variety at Epcot, so like there shouldn't be any food there that you couldn't think of that you know weren't craving. Essentially, that's all I was gonna say.
don't think there's anywhere at Epcot that'll serve you a cheeseburger, chicken tenders, or pizza all on the same menu. I don't think there's anywhere at Epcot that'll serve you cheeseburger or chicken tenders.
Connections Cafe.
Do they serve chicken tenders?
I think that's Sunshine Seasons, but Connections normally has some kind of themed burger.
I think you're right. My statement still stands. Are you looking it up?
No.
Oh, I thought you were looking it up. But yeah. Pardon me. And then last but most certainly not least, we have Animal Kingdom. The strength and the weakness for Animal Kingdom is that their food is very adventurous.
Very.
Also, the negative and weaknesses of Animal Kingdom is that they still have Rainforest Cafe. I wonder what business is like at that Rainforest Cafe. I've never been in there. Have you?
It's where I think that's the Rainforest Cafe we used to go to all the time because when I was little, when it was still downtown Disney, we never went there. So
Yeah. Now that T-Rex is
didn't-
there, we're a T-Rex family.
T-Rex. I'm still not a fan of the pricing and some of the food, but I like the theming.
Yeah. Definitely. And that is a great segue. Wait, I have one more thing. The real positive in all of the theme parks, except you Animal Kingdom, is the fireworks / nighttime show dining package. You can eat, and you also get VIP seating for Fantasmic, for Happily Ever After, and for Luminous. My mother said they're getting ready to close. I don't know who's getting ready to close.
Yeah.
Rainforest Cafe, maybe? Purchase the nighttime experience dining package. I've done it before. It's really cool. But you don't really need it for Fantasmic. I don't think there's a bad seat in the house for Fantasmic. Unless you're in like the first 3 rows, you get absolutely soaked. Learned my lesson on that one last time. And it was Gabby's first time.
My
She's
prime
like,
seating.
yeah, she's like, I don't know if I like this. And I was like, that's completely valid. What's it say? What's the word?
Yes. What?
Yes.
131 days left until end of Disney's Rainforest Cafe.
What's the source?
Disney Dining.
Interesting.
I didn't see it on Parks blog.
That's something to think about, I suppose. I'm going to call Josh tomorrow myself and ask him about this. Gonna really get to the bottom of it.
There's been no official confirmation yet, but supposedly the rumor is September 15th.
Happy birthday to me. We were talking about theming, so now we can jump into theming. What is one restaurant you think elevates the theming and just really speaks to the environment of the theme park?
It's Primetime. One, because it's in Hollywood Studios, which is all about films. Or like MGM to me, where it was all films, it was all like movie based. It was the perfect theming then. To me, it's still the perfect theming now because it's still based around movies. And just that era of television in that restaurant and how the cast members treat you during your experience is just fabulous to me.
Like you're at home.
Yes. Everyone's your cousin, and then, the menu has like things that mom made, what dad made, and like all that stuff.
Yeah, that is a really cool part of it. You stole
What
my
about
park.
you?
You stole my park. I was gonna go Sci-Fi Dine-In
That's a good
at
one.
Hollywood Studios. Yeah. Once again, going back to film, and you're literally watching the oldies in your little convertible car eating mediocre food. But it is a really cool experience. We've done it a couple times. I think I've done it with you once or twice too. I don't remember.
I think you guys ate there, and I did Toy Story Mania while you guys were there.
That's right, because we couldn't get you on the reservation, I don't think. That's right. Yeah, I mean, these restaurants are really built with the park in mind and theming in mind. So There are certainly restaurants that elevate the theming. Oh my gosh, I'm so sorry. You know, you've got Cinderella's Royal Table at Magic Kingdom, where you're literally in the castle meeting the princesses. You've got
1900
Skipper
Perk
Canteen.
Fair is a good one.
Yeah, at the Grand Floridian, because you're meeting Mary Poppins, Bert, Tiana.
Let me think about the lineup now that it's changed. It's Tiana, Aladdin, Mirabelle. I can't remember the fourth now.
My friend took her daughter there the other day, actually.
It made a lot more sense pre-COVID with the character lineup, but the theming still fits with like everything going on. Now, instead of having like an English breakfast and a royal, the Tremaine family royal dinner, now it's everyone gets to make a wish. All the characters you're meeting made some kind of a wish.
Interesting. They should have Asha there from Wish. Missed opportunity.
They might bring her in, someone, just like as a special appearance kind of thing. That would be a good one.
Yeah, I gotcha. Trying to think of other places where the theming really is spot on. You got Tiffin's over at Animal Kingdom, which is connected to Nomad Lounge. Both are focused on like world traveling, essentially, and there's a big focus around the lead Imagineer at Animal Kingdom, Joe Rohde. So really focusing on the who of Animal Kingdom, the who, what, when, where, why, really. That's a really good example of the theming. Epcot.
I cut you off on Skipper.
Yeah, you did. That's okay. Skipper Canteen at Magic Kingdom, literally, no pun intended, a hop, skip, and jump from Jungle Cruise is focused on the Jungle Cruise. There's a lot of nods to SEA as well. What is Secret Explorers? Society of Explorers and Adventurers. And if you ever get the time to go down that rabbit hole, it is a really, really cool rabbit hole to go down. I love it so much. It dates back to the Adventurers Club, back at Downtown Disney, Pleasure Island. It goes it's global and it's so cool. So that is one of the hidden focuses of Skipper Canteen, so I highly recommend it. As far as falling short,
of jokes.
Get it? Boatloads of jokes at the Skipper Canteen. Instances where theming falls short. The one that comes to mind for me is that restaurant at Coronado Springs. I think it's the Maya Grill. It just looks like a broke down hacienda to me. It's back. It's like back in a corner. Like it's advertised, but no one wants to eat there.
I was gonna say, I've probably heard of it. I've never been there. Granted, Coronado's not my go-to, except for Three Bridges. Three Bridges
I love Three Bridges.
Is my favorite there.
Yeah. Theming falling short, Crystal Palace for me. You've got Winnie the Pooh there, but it kind of just looks like they threw in some random topiaries and made some signs and really leaned into the Winnie the Pooh characters made this kind of thing, and they just didn't really have great decor. Personal opinion, that's just me.
Love my Winnie the Pooh.
I know you do. Do you have any other theming that falls short? I'm trying to think. Animal Kingdom, you can't mention anything from Animal Kingdom. Hollywood and Vine, I suppose, over at Hollywood Studios, falls pretty short.
I mean, it's still like a diner theme.
Yeah.
Correlates with Hollywood Studios, but I don't know. I can't think of any off the top of my head.
Yeah, definitely. I'm gonna move on. No, I'm not. I have one more thing to say. This is how it is. Every section, I'm like, we're gonna move on, but wait, just one more thing I want to say. The Disney parks are falling flat in buffets. All of them should be family style. We could avoid so much if they would do that. I heard the dogs. It's okay. It's all right. Just let them bark.
My uncle's calling me.
Put him on the air.
I'll call him back.
I love that you thought about it. You're like, no, actually, not a good idea.
It's my uncle in Arizona, so I'll call him back.
Gotcha. Yeah, I just think that I think there is a stigma around buffets of people putting their gross hands in stuff. And
Yeah.
especially just with the way the world is lately, I think that everything should be family style. And they'd honestly probably, I don't know if they'd really save any money. I suppose family style, you throw money down the drain. Do you see Callie right now? Paint me like one of your French girls. Kelly, come on now. That's enough of that. So yeah, that is my one true holdup on buffets. But alas. Now we're going to go beyond the parks. We are going to do resort dining. And I, and you, love resort dining. You don't want to get into the parks. You don't want to deal with the crowds, the people. If you're in the parks, you want to ride a ride. You don't want to stop and eat food. Eating at the resorts is much easier. It can really shape how you choose to spend your non-park days. You know, if we're eating dinner or lunch on the monorail resorts, we're going to spend the day hanging out at the monorail resorts. Same thing for the Skyliner. You know, where you choose to eat and at what resort really does kind of shape up how you're going to spend your non-park days. And it's important that you realize how you're going to get there. Katie and I were talking before we jumped on about how the parks are kind of jump points for your transportation. You know, if you're staying at Pop Century and you need to get to Port Orleans Riverside, well, you have to make it to a bus station that services Port Orleans Riverside as well. So, you know, in my instance, I always just grab the first bus that comes to, you know, wherever Epcot. And once I get to Epcot, that's going to be my jump point to get to Port Orleans. Same thing, you know, if you're on the Skyliner, take a bus to Hollywood Studios, then jump on the Skyliner. It's very common for people just to go to Disney Springs and find their bus from Disney Springs. I feel like the Disney Springs buses are so slow. Like, I feel like that wait time is way more spaced out than your average.
Than 20 minutes.
Yeah, has to be. But yeah, just be mindful of that, and then be mindful of when those times are set for. You lost your lights, or did it just get dark?
It just got dark, and I was too lazy to flip the switch. So
No,
I
that's
just turned
fine.
my
I was like,
flashlight on.
I love it. Whatever works. Have the dogs turn the light on. Anyways, be mindful of what time you're booking those dinners for, those ADRs. You know, I went down with family a couple years ago, and we had a 9 a.m. reservation at Wilderness Lodge for Whispering Canyon, and we were staying at Pop Century, and it's kind of stressful to get on a bus at 7:30, 8-ish. What?
Yeah. You keep cutting in and out really short. You're good.
I'm sorry. Yeah, so it was stressful to just get on a bus at 7:30 or 8 and then hope another bus would come before 9 to get us over to Wilderness Lodge. And, you know, early in the morning, everyone's trying to get to the park and no one's trying to get away from the park. So everyone is pouring into Magic Kingdom, and here we are waiting at the Wilderness Lodge bus station. Probably the only people waiting to, like, get away from Magic Kingdom. I'm like, I don't even know if a bus is going to pick us up at this point, because, like, who else is leaving Magic Kingdom right now, you know? So
Yeah.
just be mindful of that. And then also when you're booking those late dinners and you need that jump point, everyone's going to be leaving the park after dinner. So your bus stations are going to be madness. I can't tell you the amount of times I have left the Polynesian or the Contemporary after fireworks and then needed to get back to my hotel. And at the time, it's so fun to just watch fireworks from the Contemporary, but getting back to the All-Star resorts afterwards, I do not recommend. Yeah.
Good luck.
I end up kicking myself afterwards. You know, you definitely want to book those resort hours on your arrival day. On your off days, on your departure days, we love a good breakfast at a resort on our departure day because, you got to be out of your room by 11. So you get everything together, take it to Bell Services, and go to breakfast somewhere. We typically pick Ohana, but to each their own. Or we've had times where we're at Magic Kingdom. Wait times are nuts. None of this food sounds good. Let's just jump over to the Polynesian. Let's just jump over to the Contemporary,
Kona Cafe. That's my favorite.
for breakfast, lunch, or dinner.
Just
Tonga toast is the way to go. I have only had Tonga toast from Captain Cook's, and it was hard as a brick.
really, I haven't had it from Captain Cook, and I've never had it hard as a brick.
Yeah, I was like, I don't think this is how this is supposed to be because this is supposed to be an enjoyable experience, and what I am experiencing right now is not enjoyable. So, but I do want to give Kona Cafe a shot. I also want to give the bread pudding a shot at the Polynesian. Just saying. The last bit I have on resort dining, and Katie, feel free to jump in. And really, it's for any dining. It's not just resort dining, is how your experience can be elevated. Say you're celebrating a birthday, an anniversary, whatever you're celebrating. Cast members try to keep an eye, especially if you're wearing your little button. Cast members try to keep an eye on those kinds of things, make sure to bring you goodies, spoil you a little bit. I know there's times when the boys we cared for had gotten cards or cupcakes and stuff like that because it was their birthday, and that was always super special to them. And I have asked about...
Yeah, it costs extra. It costs extra, but there is the option where you can do like a Mickey Mouse cake. You can order that ahead of time, and you can have the pastry chefs write happy birthday with the name, or happy anniversary, whatever the occasion is. I think it's $35, which is not terrible for how big of a cake it is. It can feed about 8 people, and it's delicious. Granted, I like mousse, and it's like a mousse kind of cake, but that is another like elevated experience for an occasion.
Yeah, we've never done that, but I have heard all about it. I would be interested in trying the cakes as well. All right, let's jump to the last resort experience, dining experience, I should say, and that's Disney Springs. We can keep it pretty brief. I feel like we've kind of gone on and on about it. I'm losing my voice at this point. Disney Springs has become one of the superior dining destinations at Walt Disney World, simply because it's easy to get to, I think. Sorry. Go ahead.
No, it is one of the easiest ones to get to because no matter what resort you're staying in, there'll be a bus. And if you're not staying on property, you can park in one of the garages, and it's easily accessible compared to other resorts.
Agreed. And it's just easy to burn time at Disney Springs, especially if you have money. It's easier to burn time, but there's so much to eat there. There's so much to do there. There's so much variety at Disney Springs as well. You've got what I would qualify as maybe quick bites, T-Rex, Rainforest Cafe. What else would we classify as a quick bite here? Maybe Splitsville. Splitsville is more like entertainment, but you could get quick bites at Splitsville as well. They even have a bar outside. But then you also have your signature level dining experience, like Wolfgang Puck and Haleo, and is it called Eat
Boathouse.
over by Boathouse is another really good signature level dining experience as well. Did I miss any like signature quick bites ones?
Was it Paddlefish?
Paddlefish, the one that got robbed.
Yeah.
Paddlefish is a signature. I've heard it's
There's
good.
There's an Italian.
Maria and Enzo's.
Oh yeah, and the Edison
Yeah,
is
I've been wanting
a
to.
signature.
Is it? Have you eaten there?
But yes, it's delicious. It's not like signature to where you have to like dress signature.
It's just the way they present it.
Yeah, it's almost, I don't want to say steampunk, but it's like you're in an
I think it
airport
is.
kind of.
I think it is steampunk, just from what I've seen. It's almost like Toothsome over at City Walk to a degree, I would say. Once again, you want to go to Disney Springs on your arrival day, your off day, or your departure day. Not only do we grab breakfast at a resort table service offering on our departure day, but we are known to go get those last minute souvenirs and trinkets we didn't think of or put off until the last minute. We are known to swing by Disney Springs then, so always good to grab a lunch if you can. So just something to keep in mind, really. The thing that sets Disney Springs apart from the other parks is that it's easier to navigate to than to get to another resort. You don't need what I call a jump point to get to any of those other resorts. You could just go to Disney Springs, be there, and be good. In most of these instances, especially if you're staying off property, you're going to go to Disney Springs and then get on a bus, which is somewhat frowned upon. So, Katie, you got anything for Disney Springs?
Not that I can think of. I've not eaten at a lot of the ones there, so I don't have a lot of input.
Gotcha. Okay. Yeah, we haven't eaten a lot of table service ones. I think we've really only eaten at T-Rex.
Like I've eaten at Planet Hollywood. Like I've eaten at a fair share of them, but
Yeah, definitely. All right, well then I think it's time for us to talk about our top 3 must-dos. I'll share my top 3 first, in no particular order. My cat's gonna drink my water. The first one I wrote down... Oh, wrong page. First one I wrote down... Do you want to guess what the first one I wrote down is?
I was gonna say Hoop.
Hoop-de-doo review. Which we didn't even talk about this whole episode, but I feel like we could do a whole episode on Hoop-de-doo review.
We could, yeah.
The second one... Do you want to guess the second one I wrote down? You know me pretty well.
I would say either Ohana or Whispering Canyon.
It was Ohana and then Whispering Canyon, actually. So yeah, my top 3 are Hoop-de-doo Review, Ohana, and Whispering Canyon. A Hoop-de-doo Review is at Fort Wilderness. It's a dinner show. It's phenomenal. Ohana is a character breakfast at the Polynesian, and Whispering Canyon is at Fort Wilderness Lodge. All right, let's hear it.
Mine are probably going to be indifferent to people. I was going to say Liberty Tree Tavern. I like the family style. I like the food. I like the atmosphere. Long time ago, it used to be character dining. Loved
A
it.
long time ago, in a galaxy far, far away.
Pretty much. The MGM days, it was,
Yeah.
even though wrong part completely, but the MGM days, it was character dining. It's no longer character dining, and it shares the same menu as Diamond Horseshoe.
So it used to be character dining. Was it like all the characters dressed up in like the colonial outfits?
Yeah. I'd have to dig up some pictures because I know I
But you have
pictures.
them. Yeah, I need to see those immediately.
They're probably at my mom's house. But that was fun. Ohana would be a second one. I haven't been there in a long time. The like Brazilian steakhouse kind of style for dinner is amazing.
Yeah.
And just the variety. Even the breakfast is good. And then Ale and Compass.
Over at the boat?
Yeah.
The beach club. What do you like about Ale and Compass?
They have buffalo cauliflower, which is delicious. And then their burger is really good.
Gotcha. Those are interesting choices that I did not expect to come from you. I am a big fan. Okay.
I debated on saying 1900 Park Fair, but then I was like, let's go a different direction.
Yeah. What restaurant is your biggest disappointment?
Chef Mickey's.
Agreed. But I put CityWorks at Disney Springs.
Disney Springs.
Yeah. It just didn't. It was almost like a glorified Applebee's to me with a large beer menu.
I say it seemed like an Applebee's trying to be a brewery.
Yeah.
But combined.
Yeah. Not great. And then what is one that if someone said, I'm going to Walt Disney World tomorrow, where should I eat? You'd be like, you have to eat at this one specific place. What would you say?
Whispering Canyon.
I respect that. Mine was Sci-Fi Dine-In, strictly for the experience. Yeah.
I really am losing my light now. It's fine.
I'm surprised you haven't turned your... Well, good news, the episode's over, so...
I don't want to move.
I am not mad at you. This was fun. Thank you so much for joining me and talking about table service restaurants. Bummed that Lori couldn't be here, but glad we got to chat and you got to share some of your expertise on table service dining. Thank you guys for coming tonight. We really appreciate it. To our couple of followers who joined in tonight. We'll be back next week, Thursday at 7:30. Hopefully, this episode will drop on Tuesday. So if you're hearing this on Tuesday, come join us on a Thursday. It's a good time. Yeah. Other than that, follow us on social media. Go to our website, goingbeyondthecastle.com, and we will see you next week. Thanks for coming. Rob said, did the HR lady fire Lori also? Everybody's getting fired today. All right, bye.
Thanks so much for hanging out with us today on Going Beyond the Castle. We hope you had as much fun listening as we did sharing. To stay up to date on all things Going Beyond the Castle, head over to our website, goingbeyondthecastle.com. There you'll find more info about your hosts, both audio and video versions of our episodes, our weekly blog, and even some fan-favorite merchandise. Want to follow along on social media? The easiest way to connect with us is through our Beacons channel, beacons.ai/Going Beyond the Castle. You'll find links to all our social platforms, travel updates, and giveaways in one place. And hey, if you're dreaming about your next big adventure, whether it's Disney, Universal, a cruise, or a tropical escape, we'd love to help make it happen. Our travel planning services are completely free when you book through us. Until next time, keep dreaming big, keep exploring, and as always, go beyond the castle.